And it's a very blessed sunny and yellow day to you all. This is Change Radio Weekend News Bulletin. Today is Sunday, the 13th of February. Here is the news read by Sophia Tekwani. Stories making the headlines. CCC Escalate by-elections campaign. CCC Chitungwiza youths confident of retaining St. Mary's seat. And we are here to serve, says the CCC candidate for Harare's Ward 41. And now for the stories in detail. The Citizens Coalition for Change, CCC, yesterday escalated its by-elections campaign in various constituencies across the country. In most constituencies and wards where there are by-elections, the party was busy having door-to-door campaigns. Our reporter filed this report.
Yesterday was a busy day for the CCC, the Citizens Coalition for Change, where the party was having serious campaign programs across the country ahead of the March 26 by-elections. In Matabeleland South, the party was hosting door-to-door campaigns in Bridge and areas like Bwanda. In Harare, the party was also engaged in door-to-door campaigns in Glenview North, where Honorable Fanny Omningam is expected to be a member of parliament. Then in Harare West, Ward 41, Miss Kudzai Kadzombe was launching a campaign ahead of the March 26 by-elections. In Manicaland, the party was also having door-to-door campaigns in Chikanga and Dangamvura, where Prosper Mtsami, who is the chairperson of CCC in Manicaland province, is expected to run as the member of parliament for Chikanga Dangamvura constituency. In Mashonaland Central, in Guruwe, Ward 7, the party was also having door-to-door campaigns for a candidate in Ward 7. Reporting for Change Radio, my name is Stephen Chuma.
CCC youths in St. Mary's Chitungwiza are confident of retaining their parliamentary seat, which fell vacant when their representative, Unganaita Rusenga, was recalled by Douglas Mondora's MDCT over 2 years ago. Youth organizer for St. Mary's Watmo Muchairi said they're expecting nothing short of victory in the March 26 by-elections. Kudzai Kadzombe, who is the CCC candidate for Harare West Ward 41, has said she is readily available to serve her community by effecting service delivery. Speaking at the official launch of her campaign ahead of the March 26 by-elections, Kadzombe said she aims to make her ward an example of a modern urban community. The Citizens Coalition for Change Youth Assembly has warned Emmerson Mnangagwa that he will fall just like colonial leader Ian Smith. This follows statements by the ZANU-PF leader addressing a gathering in Epworth yesterday that it is easier for a person to walk from Harare to China than for the opposition to get to State House. Responding to Mnangagwa's statements, Youth Assembly National Spokesperson Stephen Chuma said the citizens are going to remove Mnangagwa just as they did with Ian Smith during the Liberation War. Chuma said,
The unfortunate words by Emmerson Mnangagwa that it is easier for a person to walk on foot from Harare to China than the opposition to go to State House clearly shows that Emmerson Mnangagwa is not in touch with the reality on the ground. It also shows that Emmerson Mnangagwa has lost his mind. It also shows that Emmerson Mnangagwa doesn't know the anger that people have on the ground. We know that in the history of this country, Ian Smith once declared that there won't be majority rule in this country for 1,000 years. but we all know what happened. So Emerson Mnangagwa must be reminded that the people are not happy in this country. He must be reminded that the people they are very sad. The people are living miserable lives. So there's no way that he can survive in 2023 elections. We are ready to welcome him to our inauguration ceremony, where the new president, President Nelson Chamisa, will be inaugurated next year. So Emerson Mnangagwa must stop daydreaming and live with the realities of the day. The people are unemployed, the teachers are not happy, the nurses are not happy. Virtually every citizen is not happy. So there's no way people can choose Mnangagwa over people power. So we are urging the people of Zimbabwe to go out in their numbers, register to vote, and also to vote on the election day and defend their vote. This is the time to show the dictator that his time is up.
ZANU-PF puppet and MDCT leader Douglas Monzora yesterday came face to face with reality in Highfields, Harare, when he addressed a near-empty audience at Zororo grounds. A desperate Monzora only arrived at the venue around 4 p.m. for a rally that was supposed to begin at 10 a.m. as he was holding out for an improved crowd. Residents of Highfields have clearly endorsed President Nelson Chamisa's CCC. Political analyst and University of Kent law lecturer Dr. Alex Magaisa has warned that disaster is brewing in the education sector and urged all stakeholders in the country to put more pressure on Emerson Mnangagwa's troubled government to address teachers' plight. Magaisa bemoaned the increasing gap between public schools and private-run schools, saying the standard and quality of education is going down in public schools, which are more affordable for the majority. He added that while the political elites are sending their children to well-run private schools, the children of the majority of the citizens are being affected by the current incapacitation of teachers. In our regional and international news, opposition members of Uganda's parliament are boycotting sittings to pressure the government to address rising cases of arbitrary arrest, brutality, and extrajudicial torture by security agencies. The MP stormed out of a plenary session this week to show solidarity with their supporters, some of whom have spent more than a year in detention without trial. Some families have had to pay ransom and bribes to security agencies to have their kin released. 13 people have been injured after a mezzanine floor collapsed at an East London pub. Emergency services were called to the Two More Years bar in Hackney Wick. Firefighters rescued 7 people who were trapped after the incident, and paramedics said 3 people were seriously hurt and 10 more had minor injuries. 4 people were taken to hospital and major trauma centers. Travelers to Botswana will from Monday need to produce proof of being fully vaccinated in order to gain entry into the country. Gaborone has announced updated requirements, and citizens and foreign visitors will need to prove that they received a full regimen of COVID-19 vaccines in order to be granted access at any point of entry into Botswana. Unvaccinated people remain barred from visiting Botswana. In the COVID-19 news and updates, yesterday, Zimbabwe's health ministry recorded 85 new cases of COVID-19 and no deaths from virus-related complications. We at Change Radio continue to urge citizens to take precautions against contracting the virus. These include the washing and sanitizing of hands, wearing face masks, practicing social distancing, and getting vaccinated. In the weekend weather, it should be mostly cloudy with isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms over Matabeleland North, Bulawayo Metropolitan, north of Midlands, Harare Metropolitan, and all Mashonaland provinces. The rest of the country should remain mostly sunny and hot with chances of rain showers. And finally, sports. Suspended Zimbabwe Football Association ZIFA President Felton Kamambo and board member responsible for finance Philemon Machana have been arrested on various allegations. Kamambo and Machana were on Saturday arrested by Criminal Investigation Department CID officers for fraud and contempt of the Sports and Recreation Commission Act, which was applied in their suspension on 16 November 2021. The SRC suspended the Kamambo-led ZIFA board last November on several allegations, chief among them the board's failure to account for public funds. And Chelsea have won the Club World Cup with a 2-1 victory over Palmeiras on Saturday after extra time. Romelu Lukaku scored the opener for the Blues before Kai Havertz converted the winning penalty in the 117th minute. In the past year, Chelsea have won the Champions League, Super Cup, and now the Club World Cup. To end the bulletin, here are the headlines once again. CCC Escalate by-elections campaign. CCC Chitungwiza youths confident of retaining St. Mary's seat. And we are here to serve, says CCC candidate for Harare's Ward 41. And that concludes this edition of our weekend bulletin. From myself, Sophia, as well as the rest of the Change Radio News team behind the scenes, thank you for joining us and have a wonderful week ahead.